Welcome, Soul Leader, to your midweek mindfulness practice. Now, I really felt called to the number 7 today. So, the first little mindfulness tip there is to go on your own journey of discovery with the number 7. You may wish to Google it. Maybe it already has some special significance or meaning to you. Maybe you see it today and it kind of sends you a little bit of a sign, a little bit of a signal all on its own. Get curious, lean in, and see what comes up and through. I feel very much that it is a significant number for many of us. It might even be like 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. today on the 7th. Something like shifted, changed, happened. Bring your awareness to that moment, to that number. All right, before we get into our mindfulness practice for today, just a reminder that mindfulness is all about coming back into the present, back into the moment, back into your body, back into yourself, and connected again, really firmly, if you haven't already been, to your higher self, to the fullness of you, to your energy, and your divine presence here in this world and in your vessel. Now, having been called to the number 7, we're going to use that as a little pathway in. But before we take that path, let's ground into the present moment as much as we can, which might be completely. But if you're finding it a little bit challenging today, it is, the middle of the week. You might have had a lot going on. You might have a lot coming up. It might be more challenging today than it is in the future or in the past, but it doesn't matter. We're here and now. Alrighty, so the first thing I want you to do is focus on your body, coming as aware of it as you can. This might be through movement. It might be through like the sensations of your clothes on your skin, of your feet on the earth, of your hair on your head, of the breeze, if you're lucky enough to have any, blowing in, and just really connecting into every and all sensations. The breeze is going stronger now that I said that. Thank you very much, Mother Earth, and all the things coming into this room in this moment. Anyway, so connecting in. Sometimes, and I'm feeling it today, imagine gathering all the pieces of yourself from the past here in the present moment, all the pieces that might be off in the future, off in the distance, off in, whatever realms they are, bringing those in as well, and just allowing the fullness of you to be here, to be present. So we've activated your body, we've gathered your energy, and let's just bring some intentional breathing in to settle any lingering tension, any spikes. Have we all been breathing properly? I'm getting the sense here that breath is probably the most mindful thing we can do today. All right. So I explored the number 7 for us all, and that's what I'm bringing into today's mindfulness practice. And I'm just going to read this little description about the number 7 as a bit of a starting point. This is one of the most spiritual numbers you can see and represents the journey to finding your divine life path. The number 7 is connected to intuition, wisdom, growing self-awareness, spiritual revelations, and big shifts that can have a positive impact on your life. Now, I was really drawn to the phrase, the journey to finding our divine life path. And let's just acknowledge that sometimes we get really caught up in the how and not very connected to the where or the why or the what. So I really love that today we're feeling really drawn to, called to bring mindfulness to the path that we're on, to the path that we're walking. Now, from a much higher perspective, I truly believe, and my guides sort of indicate to me as well. I'm just going to pause because of the plane. I know you probably can't hear it, but I can't even hear my guides, myself, over it. All right. So maybe that train of thought was disrupted for a reason. Oh, yes. Higher self, higher perspective. I truly believe that we're always on path and on purpose, but sometimes we can kind of wander around on that path, heading in different directions, and it can feel like we're not making progress or we're not making momentum. So today in our mindfulness practice, I am going to invite you to bring some mindfulness to where you are on the path right now. Now, the invitation here is to really just be open and curious to anything that comes up and comes through. The most significant part of this is not in judging where you're headed or judging where you're going or how you're progressing or how quickly or anything like that. This is about, again, coming into the present moment, coming into a mindful place and sort of having a look around at the now and going, where actually am I? So an invitation to, stay connected with your breath, connected to your body, closing down your eyes if that feels good and that helps you connect in even deeper. And imagining yourself appearing on a pathway. Now, you're already probably getting a sense of what that path is like. Maybe it's a path through a woods, over a mountain, maybe it's next to a stream, but allowing yourself to fully immerse into wherever you find yourself. Your feet firmly planted on a path. Now you're not moving, you're standing still, and this gives you a beautiful opportunity to get curious about what is around you. Now, what is around you on this path is a representation of where you are on your physical life path. So you might get some kind of random signs of like, that's not really what would be in a forest or in a meadow, but allow your intuition, allow your guides, allow your imagination, because that is really the vehicle through which we connect to our higher self, our soul, our source, all those things. So allow your imagination to begin to run wild and show you clues and give you indications of where you currently are on your path right now. Where are you in this moment, in your life, on your path? It might appear as blatantly as a sign that says, this is where you are, and it like gives a bit of a description. Perhaps there's different symbols or clues around you. Maybe you simply get the sense of where you're at and you follow that thread and it really reveals to you where you're at in your life on your path. Perhaps there's another way that you're connecting and resonating with this information, but allow yourself to make that connection, to keep open and curious, to allow your imagination to play and get creative with the signs, the symbols, the answers that are coming up and through for you so that you're receiving a message today. Once you've received your message, and feel very welcome to pause this if you do need more time. But once you've received your message, staying in this grounded place, staying connected, you may wish to actually physically have your feet very firmly on the ground, imagining that anchoring into that path you've been visualizing, that place, that time and place in your mind that is representative of where you are in your life path right now. And staying grounded, staying anchored, staying connected, get your pen and paper and just stream of consciousness, writing, where am I in my life path right now? And all that information coming up and coming through, allowing it to pour onto the page. As you're doing this, more might reveal itself to you. Don't restrict yourself, simply allow anything to come up, come through, and come onto your page. Take as much time as you need. If you're feeling yourself disconnecting, come back to the visualization in your mind, reground into the moment, get curious again, let your imagination play, and then come back to your page. Do that as many times as you're feeling called to, or as many times as you have the time for today. Knowing and trusting you can come back to this practice at any point. It's never a one and done. It's a continual journey that we get to revisit as many times as necessary or as needed. Now, you don't have to do anything with this information unless you feel called to. I think part of mindfulness is allowing ourselves just to be mindful and not have to be full of doing or full of action. Sometimes the best thing we can do for presence and to feel powerful in the now is to simply accept everything the way it is. And know and trust that in the future, you'll take steps, you'll take actions to come into fuller alignment, to come into greater responsibility, or even to completely change up what's happening. But here and now, just give yourself the permission slip to accept. Now, if anything has come up and through and you would like support, you would like guidance, you would like a practice of some kind to go further deeper into this, make sure to comment it below or post in the group. Make sure you're reaching out and asking for the support that you need. And sometimes that support is simply to be seen. If you want to share your experience, go for it. You never know who might have had a resonant experience, or your experience helped them understand their experience, or something along those lines. Or maybe it was just the permission slip needed for someone else to go, hey, I get to talk about the weird things that are happening in my head right now. And that is a good gift too. All right. Thank you for joining me for this mindfulness practice today. All right. Enjoy, and I'll see you soon.